How do we do? What is going on? It is your boy C4 here, and today I'm bringing you the top 5 fantasy bust running backs for the upcoming fantasy football season. As you know, your fantasy guru here, C4, always trying to set you, the subs, on the right track in terms of fantasy football. Help you win that cheddar, son, and donate it back to my channel or something like that. So if you haven't checked out the last video, I broke down my top 5 fantasy must running backs. So again, accordingly, we got to do the bust, and stay tuned for the future sleeper video where I give the top 3 sleepers. So today, the number 5 fantasy bust is Ray Rice. Now, I know a lot of people aren't super high on Ray Rice, but then you're always going to have those people say, well, he was pretty good. PPR league, he gets a lot of receptions. Ray Rice is fucked. I would stay probably 1,000 feet away from the Ravens offense right now as it stands. Ray Rice has all his off-season distractions, kicking the shit out of his girlfriend in an elevator. Last year, he had 900 total yards, 4 total touchdowns, and 58 receptions. Was drafted, in the first 2 rounds last year. Was an absolute bust. Stay away from Ray Rice. If you can get him on your bench, definitely he has some upside value on the bench. All these guys that I mentioned about, if you can get them for your bench guy, go for it. But starters, do not. That's why they're a bust. You stay the fuck away from them. Take my word for it. Ray Rice, number 5. Number 4 is Trent Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts. Cannot move the ball to save his life. Had 700 total yards last year, 4 touchdowns, and 28 receptions. Stay away from Trent Cole. He's an absolute bust. Did not look effective whatsoever in that Colts offense. Don't see much change. I haven't heard any positive reports at a camp. Don't really know what the Colts were thinking when they let go Donald Brown. Donald Brown was the premier back there out of him, Trent Richardson, and Vic Ballard. I think that Trent Richardson's got to struggle again. He may be, has some slight upside if you can have him maybe as their second backup running back or something like that. But he may be a guy that there's a chance that if you're in a super, hipster league that's, super football buff, there's a chance Trent Richardson goes undrafted. There you said. Number 3, Darren Sproles, recently addition to my Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, Darren Sproles, PPR league genius, genius savior, if you will. 800 total yards, 4 total touchdowns, 71 receptions. Definitely not going to be able to replicate that in Philadelphia, especially with LeSean McCoy on the field, 95% of the time. They're definitely going to have different packages where they have both him and LeSean McCoy on the field. But, everyone, there's going to be a lot of hype around him. People saying that, he's going to pick up Deshaun Jackson's production and stuff like that. Darren Sproles would be, for me personally, at worst case, like a middle to low-end flex guy. I'm going to say stay away from him. I think, everyone in Philly is super high up on this guy. I'm still, I'm going to be the devil's advocate and be like, I don't know. I can see the downside of, well, not the downside. He's definitely going to be an addition to the offense. But I can see people definitely overhyping this move. So I'm going to say maybe just pull the plug and wait a little bit on Darren Sproles. Try to get him for maybe bench depth. But outside of that, nothing much there. Number 2, Knowshon Moreno. Product of Peyton Manning. That's pretty much what it is. Knowshon Moreno did nothing before Peyton Manning. Looked pretty solid last year, but that's just because teams were tired as shit and they were going all-out coverage to stop Peyton Manning's fucking aerial attack, which made a lot of holes for Knowshon Moreno. Plus, Denver had a really, really good offensive line. And, obviously, the Miami Dolphins have gone all out to try to improve their offensive line, but there's still some, concerns over the strength of their O-line. Last year, Moreno had 1,500 total yards, 13 touchdowns, 60 receptions, was on my fantasy team, a fucking sick waiver wire pickup. I'm also doing a keeper league, but now I'm not even going to bother keeping him. Very little value in Miami. You got Lamar Miller, Daniel Thomas still there. Obviously, Moreno probably will be the number 1 back. I know he just had a surgery or some sort of injury, so you need to be kind of questionable about that. But it's based off his production from last year. It's inflated. Stay away from Knowshon Moreno. Again, bench guy. Outside of that, stay the fuck away. And number 1, Ryan Mathews of the San Diego Chargers. Last year, Ryan Mathews had his first good year after, how many years was he in the league? 3 years of just utterly disappointment in fantasy football. 1,400 total yards, 7 touchdowns, 26 receptions. There's just too much going on in that backfield. The San Diego Chargers backfield kind of reminds me of what they had in Carolina for the last couple of years, where you wanted D'Angelo Williams, you wanted Jonathan Stewart, then you added Mike Tolbert. They kind of have something a little bit similar. You got Ryan Mathews, Danny Woodhead. They just brought in Donald Brown from the Indianapolis Colts. So that is a very, very crowded backfield that I'd be somewhat concerned about, especially if you're going out to get Ryan Mathews, who might be projected in most drafts to go first, second, third round. I think personally I'd stay away. get more value, at wide receiver position, or even if you have to pull the trigger on a quarterback before you get Ryan Mathews, just not super high. And I don't think that I could possibly see him getting half of what he got last year. I can see him getting 700-800 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Receptions probably stay about the same. But, be very, very cautious when you're looking at Ryan Mathews. I personally think he'll be the ultimate bust this year, just because that's such he's a good player, but that's such a crowded backfield, and he has injury problems. So not for me. There we go, guys. Those are your top 5 fantasy busts for the running back position. As always, make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV. Let me know in the comment section below who you think are the top 5 running back busts for this upcoming season. Till next time, guys, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.